Hi everybody, my name is Sammy and I am the sales manager here at Cage Kubota. I'd like to thank my handy helpers here today. This is Jacoby Acosta. He's my one of my territory sales reps, and Jackson Ransom is my other territory sales rep who's in the Bobcat over here. We're super excited to be able to have a little bit of demonstration between the two. We want to come and not be biased. Obviously, it's going to sound like we're going to be just because, you know, we do sell orange and that is where we lead towards. But we really like to kind of point out some features that are our favorite on ours versus our competitors. And just so things that I would like to point out or I would look for whenever I was going to purchase equipment and I was comparing the two before, back and forth, especially on prices to see if, you know, the difference is justifiable. So, first off, I'd like to start, this is a CT55 58. It's going to be a 57.3 horsepower tractor. And to my other side is going to be our Kubota MX6000. So it is a 60 horse. It is a little bit more in horsepower. However, Kubota carries the MX5400, which would be comparable to the Bobcat here. I just don't have it here, but with that being said, the MX5400 is going to have the same loader with the same lifting capacity as the MX6000 would. So when we're looking and talking about lifting capacity, the comparison is going to have the same loader, same chassis size, same everything. Again, this one's just a little bit more horsepower, which isn't going to help us on the lifting capacity. So just keep that in mind as we show you the differences. The first thing that I would like to go ahead and point out is the loaders on the two. So you can tell just by looking at them, the beefiness on the Kubota is significantly more than the one on the Bobcat. Now the Bobcat is rated to pick up 2,300 pounds, just the same as my MX6000 Kubota is going to. Now, do keep in mind that the MX6000 is going to be at the pinpoints here. So you are going to have your quick attach coming out, and that's going to be the case on both of them. So the further you come out from those pinpoints, the more lifting capacity you lose, and the higher you lift, the more lifting capacity you lose. So when I was looking at the specs comparing the two, Bobcat only had one spec on the lifting capacity, and it was spec'd out at the pinpoints, and it just said lifting capacity 2,300, right? So it didn't explain where that was going to be at, if that was going to be at full height or right off of a couple of inches off the ground. It didn't support that. Kubota specs are going to break it down. They are going to give you lifting capacity at pinpoint. They do it right here at the grill guard at the bottom of it. So they do kind of break that out to give you an idea of where you're going to get the lifting capacity and at how much you're going to get at full height, where Bobcat specs did not specify that out. So physical appearances are obviously quite different. The MX6000 chassis and the MX24 chassis is going to be quite a bit bigger, a little bit beefier, a little bit wider, where your Bobcat is a little bit narrower, not as long, so you're not going to have as much ground pressure. And tire size is going to be significantly bigger. But I think to me the biggest thing is really just the loader arms. You can really tell that the Kubota builds their loader arms to really support that kind of lifting capacity that it's offering, where the chassis and the loader arms of the Bobcat just are not. And now I'm not saying it's not going to lift that much. We're going to put it to the test and find out later. However, over the longevity, I mean, you can answer that question as far as which one's going to last the longest and hold up better. But yeah, I'll let you be the judge as far as when it comes to picking it up. Now we're going to put our loaders to the test and see how well they can handle this. We've got a round bale sitting here. When it first got here, it weighed about 1,800 pounds. Exactly what it weighs right now, I couldn't tell you. So I'm not here to argue the basis of the weight. I just want to simply show you how they're going to handle them side by side. after that demonstration, I just want to clarify that I did only want them to pick it up as much as they felt comfortable. They don't have the appropriate rear weight on these units in order to pick that up and not tip over. So you can see where each operator lifted until they felt comfortable, and you can kind of see those back wheels start picking up a little extra. So just keep that in mind when you're watching that back. So I want to take a second to go ahead and measure the speed and how quick the hydraulics respond, but also I want to show you the height difference. Okay, so we need a little work on testing our speed on our tractors, but that's okay. Bobcats may have actually gotten up there a little bit quicker than ours did, so that does have that going for it. As far as lifting height, you can see here that we are just a little bit higher. Now, I just want to go for clarity and for everybody to have a peace of mind. Jackson, go ahead and pull up on your loader arm to see if it'll go up anymore. Okay, just so we can make sure we're all being fair here. So I just wanted you to take a look and see and that our Kubota is going to pick up a little bit higher than Bobcat's loader. So my next little trick I want to show you, and hopefully you can hear the sound of the engine. So I'm going to throttle it right up, and as you can see, you can watch that liquid in that cup already moving pretty significantly. And so I just want you to watch it as we rev it up, but also hear the noise go up. As far as noise level, it's going to be kind of hard to compare the two because I didn't think about that being a cab and this one being an open cab, which makes a little bit of a difference. But just sitting here at idle, you can see how still that drink is compared to it just sitting on the Bobcat just at idle. So I'm going to throttle it up and let you watch that. So you can just see the difference of the movement on the other one's hood full throttle versus ours. The liquid was almost at a standpoint and the cup wasn't moving, where on the other one it almost fell off. So if you just put that into consideration as far as being on this tractor for several hours, being out in the field, the less shaking you got to do, the less fatigued you're going to be, the less tired you're going to get. All of those things kind of come into play whenever you're looking at that aspect as far as how one is smooth and quiet versus the competitor. So that's just another thing to consider as well whenever you're shopping. Okay, so if you've watched any of my videos in the past, then you know how strong I feel about the Kubota diesel engines, but also how significantly important it is to have an engine built for a tractor and a tractor built for an engine. Versus all of our competitors, they all have different brands across the board. Bobcat does have a Daedong engine in it, which is a Korean-made engine, where this one, obviously the Kubota, which is a Japanese-made engine. So that helps a little bit as far as parts availability and things like that. As we come over here, I'd like to take a look at the serviceability. Bobcat doesn't necessarily do a bad job. You see your battery up front, your air filter. So those are both in really nice places. I also want to take note that we didn't just grab a brand new tractor from up front and compare it to a used tractor. This is out of our rental fleet. It has 260 some odd hours on it. This one we took in on trade and it has 83 hours on it. So when we're talking about age difference, that one's actually older with a little bit more hours. They're both relatively newer. So just keep that in mind as well. They do have a pretty easy spot to check your oil over here. You've got a pretty accessible filters as well. I'm not sure where the fuel filter is, but I could just not be looking in the right place. And then you have another hydraulic filter down here. So all the filters seem really good. They did a good job about easy maintaining and everything like that, as well as Kubota. Kubota does a really good job too. You have your battery up front, your air filter up top. All of your dipsticks are going to be on this side, like Bobcats. You do have your fuel filter, fuel separator on this side over here. That's the only thing that I really didn't see on the Bobcat easily to get to. And then you have your other filter here. So just going back a little bit to the beefiness of the loader arms, a huge part of that is going to be these torque bars right here. When you get up close, you can see this difference is significantly large between the size of that one and the size of this one. And that's really going to support a lot of that lifting capacity as well. So just coming back to longevity of the unit, I'm not saying that that one can't lift what it says it's going to lift, but when you look at them physically, it's clear that which one is held up to be able to pick up that much and continue doing so. And while we're looking at these, I want to also point out where your loader lines are going to lie. On Bobcats, they're all sticking out right on the side here, where they're all visible, all right in the line of sight. So easily anything could get stuck up in there, just easily for those hoses to get busted. The Kubotas, it is tucked up underneath the arms here, so it is out of the way, so you don't have to necessarily worry about branches or anything getting caught up in there as much as you would on our competitor over here. So I'm going to hand the mic off to the guys, and they can kind of talk a little bit about the inside, what they like, what they don't like, and so on and so forth.
Just being inside of this tractor, I see a lot of different things that I have a few things that I do like where the gear shifters are. It's pretty similar to ours. I do feel like it shifts through the gears seemingly well. One thing I did see on the parking brake, when you go down, you do have to push it pretty far down there to get to where we just have our foot pedals, and then also on the hydrostatic transmission where their pedals are two different ones. I did catch myself accidentally hitting the back to go forward and vice versa. I did enjoy where the size of the handle, I do have bigger hands, so it is a larger handle that we can do. The switches and everything lay out very simple. They did do a good job on that, being able to see. I will say there's a couple extra posts inside the cab that does mess with your vision, but all in all, it is a decent machine. So
what's going on, everybody? It's Jacoby again. So biggest thing whenever it comes to comparing the two tractors, the biggest thing is always going to be the foot pedal. Me personally, I'm a fan. It's a hydrostatic just like the other one, but I'm a fan of this. The biggest complaint was going forward and back because it kind of feels awkward, but just simple fix is just always going under versus your competitors. A lot of times it's confusing because your pedal to go forward is on the left side and not the outside like it should be. And two, another thing is I like that Kubota keeps it simple. They keep everything in a general reach from the loader all the way up to your PTO to engage in, to even drop in your 3-point in the back. Then over here, they make it handy. You got your gears medium, low, and high, along with your full-wheel drive. And all in all, I just like that it's simple, easy, and anybody can operate it.
I'm Jackson.
And I'm Sammy.
And I'm Jacoby. Thank you guys for tuning in and watching. Feel free to come down to Cage Kubota out in Odessa if you got any questions or want to come drive some toys. Thank you.
You know what? This actually might be nice. Hey, don't lift me all the way up. See my house from here.
Yeah.
So are we gonna go out and do this deal, or are you gonna keep playing?
And talk mess.
Oh, AC. Jacoby? Now I'm stuck.
All right, let's go get her done, boy.
All right, hurry up. I'm really wedged in here.